Hi there, my name is Sydney Dukes, and I'm going to be talking about antibiotic resistance today. So, antibiotic resistance is a great threat to healthcare all around the globe. So, the first thing that I'm going to be talking about is what is antibiotic resistance? So, antibiotic resistance refers to the ability of certain cells to survive antibiotics that are designed to kill them. This means that cells that make individuals sick do not respond to antibiotics and can therefore continue making that individual sick. The second thing I'll be talking about is how antibiotic resistance emerged. So, antibiotic resistance has emerged due to something called spontaneous genetic mutations in cells and also something else called horizontal gene transfer. So first off, spontaneous genetic mutations occur randomly and allow a cell not to be impacted by antibiotics. As this cell continues to survive and reproduce, it creates cells that contain that same genetic material that allows them to be resistant to antibiotics. And then the second way is something called horizontal gene transfer, which refers to the ability of cells to transfer genetic information between one cell to another. This genetic information is transferred in what is called a plasmid. A plasmid contains a lot of information that other cells can use in order to become resistant to antibiotics. Another way genes are transferred is through viruses. Viruses can actually carry genetic information, and viruses can infect any cell. So when they infect cells, they can transfer that genetic information, which can contain information that allows cells to be antibiotic resistant. So the third thing that I'm going to talk about today is how does the use of antibiotics play a role in the spread of antibiotic resistance. So the use of antibiotics will kill many of the cells that it is designed to kill. However, cells that contain genetic information that allow them to be resistant to this antibiotic will survive that course of antibiotics. So killing the susceptible cells can actually allow the resistant cells to have more space and nutrients that they need to grow. Therefore, the resistant cells will create even more cells that are resistant to that antibiotic. So fourth thing I'm going to talk about is the consequences of the spread of antibiotic resistance. So some cells contain genetic material that allows them to be resistant to many different types of antibiotics. As genetic material continues to be shared to different cells, this can create harmful cells that cannot be treated with many different kinds of antibiotics. These antibiotic-resistant cells can lead to illnesses and infections that do not respond to medical treatments, which can have life-threatening consequences. These antibiotic-resistant cells can unfortunately be transferred to humans and animals alike. So, last thing I'm going to talk about is some of the practices that we can do to promote safe use of antibiotics. So the first thing that you can do is only take antibiotics as directed by a doctor or other qualified medical provider. Don't share your antibiotics with other people, and in order to reduce antibiotic resistance, we recommend that you wash your hands frequently, cough or sneeze into your elbow crease in order to reduce the transmission of potentially antibiotic-resistant cells, and stay home when you are sick. And that's all I have on antibiotic resistance.